History books won't tell you this, but in the US, a wave of syrup once killed people. Yeah, not a joke. This actually happened in Boston. And what's crazy? It sounds ridiculous until you hear the full story. 1919, Boston, Massachusetts. A normal day in a busy American city. People heading to work, kids playing in the streets, factories running like always. In the middle of the city stood a massive steel tank, 50 feet tall, filled with over 2 million gallons of molasses. Back then, molasses wasn't just syrup. It was money, used to make alcohol, which meant serious business, even during Prohibition times. But there was one problem. That tank wasn't safe. Workers had complained. People said it leaked. Some even said you could hear it groaning. Imagine walking past something every day, knowing it might collapse, but no one fixes it. Then, January 15th, 1919, without warning, it exploded. A massive wave of thick, sticky molasses rushed through the streets at 35 miles per hour. Buildings shattered, people knocked off their feet, horses trapped instantly. This wasn't water. You couldn't just swim. It was thick, heavy, suffocating. Entire blocks were destroyed. Rescue teams struggled because even they got stuck. People screamed for help, but the molasses pulled them down. Many were trapped, and sadly, not everyone made it out. And here's what makes this terrifying. It wasn't fast, like an explosion. It was slow and inescapable. But what caused this? That's where things get interesting. Structural failure. The tank was poorly built, rushed construction, cheap materials, no proper testing. Because fixing it would cost money, and saving money mattered more. Even today, companies cut corners to save a few bucks. Back then, it was even worse. On that day, temperatures suddenly rose. The molasses expanded, building pressure inside the tank. And then, it couldn't hold any more. After the disaster, investigators stepped in, and what they found changed everything. This became one of the first major lawsuits against a corporation in US history. The company ended up paying thousands of dollars in damages. Today, that's worth millions. Boston spent weeks cleaning it up, streets sticky, buildings covered. People said, for years, on hot days, you could still smell molasses. And that's how trauma works. Even when it's over, it stays with you. This event forced stricter safety laws, better inspections, better construction standards. So yeah, this wasn't just a weird story. It changed how America builds things. But what's interesting is, most people today have never heard of it, because history like this doesn't always make it into textbooks. And that's why stories like this matter, because they show how small mistakes can lead to massive consequences. All because someone ignored a warning.
And this wasn't the only disaster like this. History isn't boring.
I can't believe this is happening.
All units evacuate immediately. This is not a drill.
It's unpredictable, dramatic, and sometimes terrifying. And sometimes, the strangest stories are the real ones. Because there are other disasters, even more shocking than this. Events that people still argue about today. And one of them was almost completely erased from history. So if you think this was crazy, wait until you hear what happened next.
History is not what they told you. Some truths were buried for a reason. We opened the files, others closed.